Well, why do I do it? Here is the number that I want you all to hold to. It's 22%. That's the percentage of women that are currently in the AI roles globally, all right? And at the research level, it drops to even 12%. And at an even higher
Where is
level,
it doing the heavy lifting? Oh, in many places where it used to take thousands of people to create a CGI animated film. It only takes one person. And yeah, I was looking for a full-time job and also, being rejected a lot, especially from, other streaming platforms. And I think that's what got me really going in building my own, because I was like, okay, well, that's another gatekeeper, telling me no for a job that I really want. And I'm just going to create my own opportunity. So that's what I did. My lawyers, I asked, can you copyright AI movies? And they said, no, unless you actually had a part in like editing it or have your own voice in it. But if it's completely generated from A to Z, like the script, the prompt, the voice, the music, etc., then you cannot copy.
welcome back to the AI Sisterhood Podcast. I am Arthi, your host, and every week we sit down with a woman who is doing something genuinely new in AI, tech, and we spotlight them to every other woman across the globe. Well, why do I do it? Here is the number that I want you all to hold to. It's 22%. That's the percentage of women that are currently in the AI roles globally, all right? And at the research level, it drops to even 12%. And at an even higher level, the women executives who are in AI right now, it's only 14%. So, but then I keep meeting all of these women who are building in AI. They are extraordinary. They are shipping real systems. They are creating huge impacts on the real world. So they may not always be the loudest voices in the room, but they do have a voice. And this podcast exists to just showcase all of these women and to inspire a lot of women along the way. This is the AI Sisterhood podcast, and let's hear how she built it, and then you can go build yours. Today's guest is proof that most unexpected journeys lead to the most interesting destinations. So here's a fun fact about her. She is a filmmaker, not a hobbyist, but a real professional filmmaker. And before she became a tech founder, she had this whole career as a product designer. Most people in the world would pick a lane and kind of stick with it. But she collected lanes, and now she has built an AI company that could change the way films are made forever. Everyone, please welcome Vanessa Mariveles, founder and CEO of AI M0V1E. Hey, Vanessa.
Hey, Arthi, thank you for having me. I'm Vanessa, as you mentioned, and I am glad to be on this podcast. It's actually one of my first podcasts introducing my company. And basically, AI Movie is a streaming app for vertical movies and series. And you can upload your own films. And the next version I'm making is for video generation. And right now it's actually launched on Google Play Store in the US and hopefully rolling out iOS very soon.
That's fantastic, Vanessa, because um, I mean, there are a lot of people who create videos with AI, create actual content, like you mentioned, short form videos, vertical videos. But I hear a lot of times that YouTube kind of not incentivize them, and then there is no this one platform where people who are interested in the AI generated videos, like episodic videos, they don't have a platform yet. But I guess AI movie is one such platform. That's a wonderful initiative, Anasa. Awesome. So I want to start right at the beginning because your path, as you already spoke about, it's not a straightforward one, right? You picked a lot of lanes and then you built a constellation out of it. So can you tell us like where it all began? Like start from the very beginning.
Sure, yeah, it all started, back in school, high school in particular. I was very interested in filmmaking and music videos. I thought I would be like a music video director. and I would convince all my friends and my sister to do music videos after school or on the weekends, and then showcase it at family parties. So everyone knew what I was doing and aspired to be a filmmaker. And I convinced my parents to let me go to film school in San Francisco. So I attended that Academy of Art, and got my bachelor's in fine arts. And from then, I did a lot of short films, and finally, my debut feature film, Echoes of Dreams, which premiered on streaming on Amazon and Tubi right now. You can check it out.
That's cool. Like, oh, I have to check it out. I didn't know this before.
Yeah, and then there's like in between of wanting a break, and I actually did DJing. So Um, yeah, I just wanted to do a lot of things and was interested in the arts and pursued it. And like there was no turning back or anyone stopping me. So I just, did what I can. And I actually made some money DJing nights. And then I did it for like 3 years in the Bay Area. And then I was like, okay, I kind of want to get into tech. So let me start learning to code, and I went to meetups that teach women how to code for free. And then there was one meetup I went to where they were teaching product design, which I had no idea about. And I was like, okay, it merges like arts and tech at the same time. So, you know, I didn't want to be a starving artist anymore, and I wanted to make some real money. And so I did a portfolio. I worked at a startup, freelance, like as an intern, with my first job as a UX designer, and then from then on, I got like contract positions, and then my career built from there. So yeah, I was doing product design for like almost a decade, and yeah, with the advent of AI, I got into learning how to use the tools, and just off of YouTube. Also, how I learned UX design was YouTube. And yeah, since I think October is when I first had the first idea about creating my own streaming platform. So I iterated that design on like Figma Make, and then learned Cursor and other tools that the agents told me to use for the back end. So that's how I learned step by step, every single day, take it one step at a time until I finally made a product and launched it.
Wow, that is quite a journey. Like, you started off in art school and then you self-learned how to code, how to use all of these different AI tools, and now you have a product in the midst. Wow. I guess this is the story that everybody needs to hear, because there are a lot of women out there who are still kind of hesitant when it comes to using the AI tools. Like, forget about coding; they don't even like kind of want to risk it to use as simple as ChatGPT. But your story, I really hope that it inspires everybody who watches this video. Vanessa, awesome.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I hope it opens a lot of doors for, a lot of women to step out of their comfort zone and try filmmaking if they've always wanted to do so. Because I think, looking back, when I learned film history in film school, they talked about how a lot of women lost their jobs as editors when sound came along, which they called the talkie. That was like 100 years ago in 1927. So flash forward to 2026, I think there is going to be a lot of opportunity for women and younger generations to express their creativity without any budget constraints. So it's a good way for them to get into the arts and make some money, because our platform also helps generate revenue for the filmmakers.
That's awesome, Vanessa. Thanks for sharing. You mentioned that you are AI superpower, right? And as I speak to you, I realize that it is like democratizing filmmaking for all of them across the world, like you just mentioned. So that kind of like carries a lot of weight, because and let's understand what that actually means, right? So tell us a little bit more about AI movie. How exactly does it work? What kind of triggered you, or what was your starting point to kind of launch this specific application?
I think the starting point was just looking at what is available today and, how can I make it better? I know we have competitors in the market right now, but I don't think their practice in UX design is very strong. So a lot of it is very convoluted and overwhelming when you visit their websites or their apps. So I wanted to create like a seamless product that's easy to understand and easy to navigate for the user. Um, so that's what I had, like design principles first at hand, and then that's where I went from with my background in UX design. It's always about the user first and how can they understand and navigate the product.
I think that's one of your biggest plus points, right? Because with AI, I guess like anybody who wants to kind of create a new application, launch it to the world, they can at this point in time. But then your unique bundle of expertise, like in filmmaking, you've been UX designer and product designer for like a decade. So all of these things put together, I think it sets you up, gives you a unique advantage, which I don't think, as you mentioned, anybody else out there has it right now. So that's pretty amazing. So right now, if I understand it well, that you are obsessed with making AI movie a success. So what are the hardships that you've faced or are still facing right now in your journey of being a founder?
Being a solo founder is very difficult because it's like making a movie by yourself, which is very difficult to do. And I kind of did it with my feature film because I was on a tight budget, meaning I had produced, directed, edited, shot the whole movie myself, and did a lot of lighting equipment, very, run and gun kind of way. And then just had some of my actors help me out. So that's kind of also building a startup is the same thing. You got to do marketing, you got to do the business side, you got to do finance and the design and all the engineering technical stuff yourself until you get, someone as a partner or until you get funding so you can hire a team. So that's a difficult part right now.
Uh, how did you kind of build AI movie? You will not like reveal your all of your IP, but then let's say somebody who's like inspired after watching this video and they want to kind of build their own idea. So how do they go about it? How did you go about it?
I would say just start with pen and paper, just write your ideas down, the old school way. And what are you really passionate about? Like before this, I had a job in United Healthcare doing product design, but I was like, I want to work in streaming, but how do I get there? And just having that idea, like, okay, what can I do better that people aren't doing, or what's innovative? Um, that's what you have to think about for like the future. What do you think investors will invest in? That's could be a hot commodity right now, or there's a lot of noise in the market for AI. People doing the same things, but you just have to be like one step better and differentiate yourself from others.
That's cool advice. Thanks. Thanks for sharing, Vanessa. Speaking of like one thing that you shared with me before we started talking, you described yourself as like kind of a fairly private person and also an introvert, right? And you said that it has held you back from public speaking, kind of marketing yourselves, and but your answer was not to like kind of push through and force yourself, but instead that's what kind of inspired you to build a brand ambassador using AI so that you need not be on camera all the time. So I wanted to hear more about this because let's be honest, being a founder and being an introvert is a kind of a not something that you want, hand in hand. So how has that played out for you so far?
Yeah, so my plan is to actually leverage AI and, create personas and characters just as I would in a movie and have them be my brand ambassador. I was tinkering with like my old DJ persona self, like my younger photos, like 10 years ago. Like, okay, what if I make this one a brand ambassador? But we'll see what happens and what I come up with. But ultimately, the market and the demographic I'm trying to reach are between like 18 to 30 something. So have to appeal to that market.
And was there any kind of a specific moment where you felt that tension, like, I need to get on the camera, but then, it's not working out, so I have to build this AI ambassador of myself?
Yeah, I mean, just being so busy, I don't even have time for like posting every single day on social media. So I'm also trying to get that automated because there's a lot of tools out there. So I see a lot of good in AI for like freeing up your time, especially as a solo founder. Um, but the thing is, you have to learn it first before you can do it, right? So that also takes time to learn and then execute.
And I guess like there are a lot of tools as you mentioned, like Blotato, and something other similar as well. And you can, automate around like 80% of your social posting using Claude. So I guess, yeah, that's something all of us need to do. I kind of like find a little bit of, something poetic here. So you are a filmmaker using AI to tell your own story in a way that feels safe and authentic. So is that how you see it as well?
So even though people are against AI, especially for filmmaking, because they think, their jobs will be taken away, I say, you know what? People need to learn the new technology so that they can empower themselves and not feel like a victim. For instance, I think a lot of actors are like copywriting their voice or their image and then, having more power in that. And also, I think a lot of actors should learn to be filmmakers so that they can cast themselves in the movies they want to be in, not wait for, a real life casting director to put them in the movie, like an action movie, if they want to be. So there's no more, I think, excuses for like waiting around. I think you just got to try it out and experiment.
You mentioned that there is a lot of pushback from different artists about using AI for filmmaking. So, but we all need to kind of understand that this kind of a pushback is not just for filmmaking, but across all the different domains and all the different industries that you can find. But according to you, where do you think using AI in filmmaking is kind of doing the heavy lifting?
Where is it doing the heavy lifting? Oh, in many places where it used to take thousands of people to create a CGI animated film. It only takes one person, a prompt, and a click of a button. So a lot of manpower, a lot of money is now down to like hundreds of dollars if you want to make a like feature film with a lot of graphics and action and CGI. So I think, yeah, it opens a lot of doors and it's just another tool. I don't think, real filmmaking is ever going away. It hasn't for like over 100 years. So it's just another tool, another medium. And I think a lot of people will embrace it. There will be niche, markets, kind of like when Crunchyroll came around with anime and Twitch with live streaming, with video games. This is another platform just for like AI movies of all kinds of genres.
And with AI movie, you also mentioned that you're gonna bring another version with video generation. So, what can someone create with AI movie after that version has been released? That would take a studio to kind of like a lot of time to create. So, what can the person create with AI movie with that version?
I would say, I mean, I've depending on if they're uploading from whatever they have existing, but nowadays, using like seed dance is very lifelike, and I've seen actual feature films, all created by AI, And I think it takes days, not weeks or months, to create something, tangible and great.
And 5 years from now, like, what does the filmmaking industry look for you? What changes and what kind of like remains the same?
5 years from now, I can't even think about what am I doing tomorrow, but I just take it one step at a time. But I hope more people embrace this kind of technology for films and series, and I think it opens up a lot of doors for people who have had them shut in the past, including myself, for always having a gatekeeper to tell you yes or no if they can give you a budget for making a movie or not. But now it's like, okay, you're empowered to do it yourself, and there's no limit to it. And I think it's just going to get even better where it looks exactly like a live, action these days. And it's just going to be seamless. And I think there's going to be new technology created with the power of AI and video.
That's amazing. And what do you want AI movie to have made possible by them? Like, what is the outcome that you're most proud of? Like, if fast forward 5 years from now, AI movie would have been like.
What would my app be 5 years from now? Okay. I have a vision of probably it's going to be a mixture of human creators and also AI creators who are creating their own series because of the AI models now being trained. I think it's possible within a couple years, not even 5 years.
Wow, that's awesome. And I know that there has been a lot of movies where whenever they show, the world in the future, like in 2020 or even 2030s, they mention that, we talk to holograms, and, we can interact with people even though they are like far away. So do you think something like that is possible?
I think it's happening now. I've seen like holograms, like in the newsroom of SF newsroom, they have holograms where people are look like they're teleported from somewhere else into the newsroom. So that whole Star Trek and Star Wars thing is already here. So
That sounds amazing. I hope it's all democratized, and just like how we use WhatsApp today, I really hope that we get to use holograms as well. What, made you kind of quit your full-time job and then dive headfirst into becoming the tech founder? What was that moment?
I actually didn't quit my job. So a lot of people here are getting laid off. And yeah, I was looking for a full-time job and also, being rejected a lot, especially from, other streaming platforms. And I think that's what got me really going in building my own because I was like, okay, well, that's another gatekeeper, telling me no for a job that I really want. And I'm just going to create my own opportunity. So that's what I did.
That's amazing. And I really hope that, all the women across the world, they have this courage to build a space for themselves, right? Because in the workplace, it's always, whether it's conscious or unconscious, there is this bias towards women. And speaking of bias towards women, I wanted to know that, as a woman founder, a solo founder, have you faced any kind of hardships in this way, like when you're seeking funding, or like when you're pitching your idea to somebody else? So, is there anything that you faced just because you are a woman in this space?
I don't think so. I don't want to like justify or speak for others, but for my own experience, I think it's about the confidence you have and, knowing that you have something valuable to present to others. And, eventually people will want it. And I think I'm very lucky and blessed because I've had a few investors come to me. I haven't even seeked them, but they wanted to take a meeting with me. So I'm hoping that will continue and I don't have to search too hard. But yeah, I hope I get funding very soon and I can continue working on this for the rest of my life because this is what I'm passionate about.
That's superb, Vanessa. And I really hope that the funding comes through and AI movie becomes one of these huge, the next Netflix, but for AI, AI generated videos. Yeah, I really want that for you as well. Thanks for sharing. So imagine that there is a woman right now in art school aspiring to be a filmmaker. Before they kind of like graduate, we know for a fact that AI would have been tremendously grown, and it's like very hard to keep up even for those who are trying to keep up with it every single day. So for that single person who is in the art school, trying to get into the filmmaking industry, what would you advise them? Like, how can they stay up to date and how can they stand out in the filmmaking industry?
So I actually have a nephew in this situation where I think the younger generation, it's like 50-50. They embrace it, and then half of them are very auteur and don't want to be part of AI. So I'm not the one who's going to preach, but I'm going to just say, I think just be open to the new technology coming up because that's where the money is, right? And I like to follow the money because everyone has to make a living. But I also like to, be creative and stay creative and grounded. So I think for those who are against AI and just only want to do real filmmaking, that's still a thing. And I think it always will be there. But from my experience, it was tough even without the AI. But I think there's going to be new job opportunities in filmmaking. A lot of filmmakers right now are doing both, who I talk to. And I think they're the most open to using this technology right now. And then we're trying to get, regular people to use it who have never thought they can make a film in their life. So that's another segment market.
That's cool. Yeah. And speaking of pushbacks, like people who do not want AI in any kind of a filmmaking avenue. So, do you think there will be kind of regulations in place where movies wouldn't be allowed to be released in the mainstream? If they have used any AI in it. So, do you think that would become one of the possibilities in the future?
I don't think so. I think studios are very smart and they're also about being efficient and budget conscious. So I think there's going to be more and more AI movies in theaters in the future as time passes and it becomes cheaper to make because right now it's still expensive, pretty expensive to make even a short film. Um, but yeah, and also slow. So as soon as the technology gets cheaper and faster, I'm sure the studios are gonna put more AI films out there.
Recently Taylor Swift kind of trademarked a voice and a couple of phrases that she would say, "Hey, this is Taylor Swift," and so on, and even a couple of posters, if you will. So, do you think every artist out there should do this? What's your whole take on this specific situation?
I think it's important because if you have legal on your side, I think you're fine. But those who don't are going to have a lot of battle with, taking down the image or being, in copyright, legal battles, etc. So I think it's time. I think I'm thinking about it too, but we'll see.
I think a lot of DJing videos out there. Do you have them, or was it all offline?
No, I have some. I have some. Yeah. Oh, a fun fact actually. So, talking to my lawyers, I asked, "Can you copyright AI movies?" And they said, "No, unless you actually had a part in like editing it or have your own voice in it. But if it's completely generated from A to Z, like the script, the prompt, the voice, the music, etc., then you cannot copyright it. So I think that we have to, yeah, that's a very large disclaimer there. Um, so I think the filmmakers, creators who upload their own films, who did a lot of editing or touched on it, they have the right to copyright it. But prompting, not so much. And I don't know if like people know that or they're not educated, or because there's a lot of stuff on social media out there, right? That's fully AI generated, so it's hard to say like, can people copy your story? Can they take your image and video? I think they can without your permission, which is scary too.
This makes me think of like how AI movie is kind of like trying to handle all of these corporate situations.
I have detection in using like some making sure that it's AI generated and not, and then there's also requirements where they have to upload a certain um, time frame of a video, not just like any random video. So there's some detection work in there. And also for explicit content, that's also going to be flagged. So, I know there's some nefarious people out there, but we will catch it. So,
AI movie has been launched in the US. So can you kind of walk us through your whole launch and go to market strategy so that it would help other aspiring founders?
that's a good question. Go to market strategy was really, just get it out there. Just like how they tell you build an MVP and get it out there, get it all the users to test it out. So I still have that mentality of, ship fast and break things and then iterate from there. Because you, as a founder, yeah, you want to make everything perfect, especially perfectionists out there, but there's no perfect. You'll always find something you want to add, a new feature, etc. But you got to do that for the next, revision. I think just getting it out there and getting the public's eyes on it tells you, do you have something valuable? Do people want to use this thing or not, right? Or what do you have to change and pivot to? So, yeah, that was my go-to market strategy. Just get as many people to use it and tell me what they like or don't like about it, and yeah.
I think that's one of the successful strategies out there that do in the current scenario where everybody is shipping products. And yes, I totally agree with this specific strategy. I follow it as well. So just put it out there, and if you are bound to get feedback. So when you keep on addressing feedback, someone else out there is going to be launching with the exact same idea, and your competition is going to race. So be first, and then be the best. It's what I follow as well. So that's an awesome strategy, and I really wish you all success with the global launch of AI movie. I am pretty much stoked about it. I'm looking forward to it being available in India. So yeah.
I better have a lot of funding before then because billions of people will use it. So,
This next segment is going to be fun. I call this rapid fire round, where I ask you a couple of questions and you need to kind of answer it without thinking, like whatever is like at the top of your head about it. Okay, very simple ones. Can we get started?
okay.
All right.
Yeah.
The one AI tool you could not live without right now.
Claude.
Okay, perfect. A movie that changed your life.
Oh, Carol, 2016. It was an Academy Award winner.
Okay, awesome. Best advice you have ever received as a founder.
Oh man, there's always advice. So, just be confident and be yourself, and People will come, and don't be nervous and about, selling yourself and your product.
Cool. What's the tagline of AI movie?
Tagline is every frame is binary, hence the 0 and 1 in movie.
Wow. One thing you wish more people knew about filmmaking.
It's hard as hell if you do the real live one, and it's very easy if you do AI.
One piece of advice that you would like to give to a woman who's listening to this podcast right now.
If you're thinking about creating an AI startup, just do it. Learn on YouTube, learn from others, learn from podcasts like this.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, that's all the questions that I had for the rapid fire round. You did really good, Vanessa. Thank you so much for sharing all of those fun facts about yourselves. One kind of a personal question to you. So you've been working for a really long time, and you've pivoted to become a tech founder. So how do you balance everything in your life? Like with work, with life, and being a founder itself is like two full-time jobs. I mean, if not like five full-time jobs. So how do you juggle everything together?
Well, for me, I've always been an early bird, and I think it's true. The early bird gets the worm and gets a lot done while everyone else is sleeping, while the family is sleeping, and while my dog is sleeping. So I get a lot of work done before I have to do, chores or, make coffee, cook sometimes. So I think, not having kids is another plus for my startup life, because I know a lot of people who have kids and it's very difficult. So I applaud them. Um, but yeah, I just do everything. It is really a 24/7 job. There's no real vacation, and sometimes you have to you know, turn off that mode of, oh, I'm working, because you're always working. So always try to be present when you're with your family and friends, and yeah, take a vacation once in a while, take a walk. I'm glad I get a walk with my dog and I get to breathe a little bit. So,
Awesome. So what do you do like outside of building apps and making a revolution in filmmaking? What else do you do? Who is Vanessa?
oh, well, before this, I feel like I had a life, but now I feel like I don't, honestly. Um, I'm always trying to do something fun, like how I used to. Um, let's see, my birthday's coming up. I'm going to Vegas, so I love always racing on the track over there. I love driving past cars and sports cars. When I can, I play bowling with my family, and I like doing outdoor activities. It's going to be summer soon, so yeah, like water sports, kayaking and canoeing, all those things when I have time. So,
That's an amazing line of activities, all physical activities, which I don't think I can do. But good for you, Vanessa. Awesome. All right. Is there anything else that you would like to share, as a life lesson, or, um, this podcast is like predominantly listened by women across the world, predominantly in India and the US. So if there is any, I know you've already shared a bit of wisdom for women listening to this, but then any of your life lessons translated into a story that you would like to share?
life lesson, I think just, have gratitude each and every day, and any goal you want to accomplish, it can be accomplished once you have the gratitude attitude in mind. And also, don't be afraid to do whatever you want to do, even though you think you'll be judged. Um, I know that's hard in Indian culture and Asian culture in general, because even my family wanted me to be a nurse because I come from Filipino family, and a lot of them are in the medical field. The only medical thing I did was medical insurance, so that was the closest I got. And um, but yeah, I've always loved the arts, and I was very lucky to have parents that understood that and let me do it and not force me to become a nurse or engineer or a doctor. Even though in hindsight that would have been a better choice, I think. But you know, you only have one life right now, but unless you believe in reincarnation, but I would say just live your best life. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Vanessa, for sharing that. And this has been such a rich conversation, so raw, so genuine, all of your ideas and your learning, the whole journey itself is like a filmmaker who became a product designer, who became a founder, building tools so that the story you always wanted to tell does not have to stay inside you because you can't afford to be, on the camera, or you cannot afford a crew. So that's itself is a amazing story that I've ever heard. And that is what I guess it's AI movie really about. And I'm so glad that you're building it. Everyone listening to this, you can find Vanessa on LinkedIn. I'll put her link in the description, and also a link to all of the social again in the description. And maybe you can scan this QR code, and you can learn more about the company AI Movie at AImovie.ai. So I'll leave that as well in the description. And thank you, Vanessa, for being on this podcast. And it has been such a rich conversation. Like I said, I enjoyed every bit of it. Thank you so much.